Elite Motorsports. Alan had the opportunity to run his son in a final round battle on Father's Day down in Houston, Texas earlier this year. Also won at Topeka on the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour. Claimed the biggest title of all, the U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis. Firestone would love nothing more to get through the next couple of rounds and have a chance to beat up with Bob Galletti. The semifinals. Well, it's going to have to whittle away at it a little bit at a time. Firestone, second off the line. Boy, Blanc had the better light. Allen has the better run. 63 on a 59. 737 on a 728. Warren Blanc was 008. Firestone was 19 on the train. But Allen running closer to the dial with the 63 on his 59. Picks up the win and moves on. He'll be back with 7 cars left. Take on the winner of this pair, be it Matt Driscoll, Lance Rutland. Driscoll coming down from Wellsville, Kansas, just a little south of the Kansas City metro area. Beautiful Chevy Cobalt there on the right-hand side. The former national champ of the Super Comp category. There's Rutland over here on the left, the reigning division champ in the category. Lance's car will not be one of the quickest cars in the field. But Lance will be one of the more consistent cars in the field. And top sportsman, top dragster racer. Clark can consistently run the number, and you've got the reaction time. You go rounds. That's what Lance did last year. Off and running is Rutland. Matt Driscoll going to try and track him down, close it hard, top in, gets him. 679 at a $197. 789.6 on a 790 by Lance Rutland. Breaks out by 4 thousandths of a second down at the other end of the racetrack. That sets up a pretty good run now between Matt Driscoll and Alan Firestone in the next round of elimination. And those two will duke it out to come back to run Bob Galletti. And those pairings are just pretty wild and crazy. Ricky Fisher's 57 Chevrolet should be over there on the right-hand side. This is Kyle Firestone. Talked a moment ago about Alan Firestone running his son in the final on Father's Day down in Houston. Well, this is the 51 Chevrolet. Should be running Shannon Smith. Shannon's car a no-show. So Kyle gets the win. He'll be back to run J.J. Eber. J.J. with that 17 thousandths package. See what kind of a lap Kyle can put down. 51 Chevrolet. Big Elite Motorsports power plant underneath the hood. Probably referred to as Darth Vader. Chop top, low ride, ominous looking entry, goes 682 on a 681. 15, that's a 27 thousandths package for Kyle. So, well, it's not quite JJ's 17 pack, but it's not bad. Stock Eliminator, round number 2, need your lanes, please. Stock Eliminator, round number 2, need you to the lanes. Super Street, that means you need to be getting them ready. Super Street, back, go ahead and bring them on down. Super Street needs you to the lanes now, please. Super Street, to the lanes. Sportsman Motorcycle, get them ready. Stock round 2, Super Street round 2. Here's Ricky Fisher. Fisher taking on Jerry Tucker. There's no Jerry Tucker. That was yesterday. Moving a couple of power plants. Tucker's machine was on a borrowed motor anyway. Motor's been sitting in the shop for a couple of years. Got some runs out of it. Got a 706 qualifying lap out of it. It's not able to answer the bell here for round number 1. So Fisher, Ricky, who had major issues down in Dallas, Texas a few weeks ago. It's the 57 Chevrolet. Pulled up underneath the tire down in Ennis. Had a small fuel leak. They went to try and warn him not to fire the car. About the time they went to warn him not to fire the car, he fired the car, lit off the fuel, had a huge fireball right underneath the tire. It was race number 1 of our doubleheader weekend. Fisher was able to get the car repaired and back on track for race number 2. Going. Memory serves me correctly. Fairly deep into the program. Gets the competition by run here as Jerry Tucker's not able to answer the bell. His car will be one of our 7 quarterfinalists when we come back for round number 2. But again, Stock and Super Street. Round number 2 needs you to the lanes, please. Stock and Super Street. Round number 2 needs you to the lanes. Fisher hiking the front end up on that 57 Chevrolet. Carries it out for a ways, sets it back down, goes 661. 208 miles an hour to pick up the W. And Darren Bosch comes rolling in. Darren at the wheel of his new ride. The Chevy S10. The blown big block. Darren comes into the race weekend. Number 2 in the national championship standings. And only 10 points out of first. Heck of a time to be debuting a new ride. And the old Camaro has been doing so well. They've got the new truck at the Jerry Haas Race Shop. Hooker paint. They should be taking on Tim Wilson's little Chevy too. Little Tim for the opening round. He's again the Oklahoma City runner, having some problems during all of qualifying. They got good numbers. Not able to answer the bell. Darian's truck down at the big end, 672 on a 679. A good lap there for a tune-up run for them. 203 miles an hour. So it'll be Alan Firestone and Matt Driscoll. Ricky Fisher, Darren Bosch, J.J. Eber, and Kyle Firestone. Bob Galletti. 7 cars coming back for the next round of eliminations. We go into round number 2 of our stock eliminator field. 10 cars left in the category. We're going to whittle it down to 5. Talked earlier today about the short side of the ladder. Some of our competitors will be running for the opportunity for a bye run to the final round. We're going to have that in numerous of categories this weekend. We'll keep you apprised as we work our way through. Tell you about the short sides of the ladder coming up. Right now, Stock Eliminator, round number 2. Lead you to lanes, Super Street, round number 2. You should be in the lanes as well. Stockers, suit them up and pull them up, and let's go. Ball goes out. Fire the first pair. Round number 2, stock eliminator. 10 cars left. 5 cars going to be coming back. Will Carroll taking on Stu Gertson. 390, 4-speed. 67 Mercury Cougar. Big block 427 Chevelle. Carroll dialed in, 1032, the big block Chevelle. Gertson on a 1087, so about a half a second. Handicap start for the Cougar. Let's see if he can go down track without laying down a smoke screen this time around. Red line start, Will Carroll. Gertson, red light already on. The Cougar on a much cleaner pass down track this time around. 1095 at 107 miles an hour. 1043 by Will, but he lit the red bulb. It's Stu Gertson. Picks up the W. Moves to the quarterfinals. Stock eliminator. Jeff Franklin taking on Hayden Trumbull. Trumbull's big block, 454 Chevelle. So we go from a 427 Chevelle to a 454 Chevelle. Hayden on a 1095. Franklin over here on the left, a little 340 Mopar. Combination 73 Plymouth Duster. Up at 43 the dial for Franklin, and he turns it red. So all of a sudden, we got red light-itis everywhere in stock eliminator. Hayden Trumbull, one of those cars on the short side of the ladder. One of the 2 cars on the short side of the ladder. Gets the win, 1098 at $1.18 for Hayden. 39 for Franklin. Mike McMahon taking on Dave Latino. Battle of the Corvettes, the 350 71 edition. Over on the left-hand side for McMahon on 1138, Latino's B-Stock automatic. C5 edition. The Hollingsworth Latino crew out of Louisiana. Giving chase down the right-hand side. You know, like I said earlier, involved in the division championship run, but gets shut out here. 10.706, and he's short by 13 thousandths of a second down at the other end of the racetrack. And Mike McMahon just picked up the huge win, 11:39 at $1.14, taking a strike by 13 thousandths of a second. Phil Giles comes rolling in now, taking on Gary Emmons. How about a couple of 9-second stock eliminator factory hot rod? Giles factory stock C Copo Camaro. The 427 edition on the left. Gary Emmons factory stock A, the 302 Cobra Jet. Blower motor car on the right, and this is a twofer. At 5 cars, the winner of this pair has the bye run to the semifinals. Big matchup here. Super Comp and Sportsman Motorcycle need you to the lanes now, please. Super Comp. Sportsman Motorcycle need you to the lanes. Sportsman Motorcycle and Super Comp. Red light's going to go to Emmons. 913 on a 907, taking 5 fouls. Strike. 961 by Giles. Dead 7 on the dial, but a little tardy leaving the starting line. 5 thousandths of a second short once they got to the finish line. So Emmons gets his name penciled into the semifinals. He'll run either Mike McMahon or Stu Gertson for his opportunity at the final round. And Jacob Pitt and Jerry Emmons. Monster matchup here. Winner gets to come back and run Hayden Trumbull from the bye run to the final round. Jacob C-Stock automatic, 440 CUDA, Emmons A-Stock automatic, 396 Camaro. factory muscle hot rods from 1969. Feel like Professor Peabody and Sherman threw us in the Wayback Machine and took us back a few years. Emmons coming off the big win at Indy. Both these gentlemen, multi-time divisional winners. These gentlemen have stood on stage at the banquet as the division champ. Handicap start, couple of tenths. Going to go to Jacob Pitt. He's lined up and in. Jerry Emmons. Bumping in. He's in. 3 comes down. Pitt goes red. Emmons goes green. Double over red by Jacob Pitt. And it'll be Emmons and Trumple in the next round for the bye run to the final. Jerry goes 10:42 on a 43 at $1.14. Number 38 by Jacob. Shutting it off after that 4/1000th of a second red light start. Super Street rolling in next. Sportsman Motorcycle. Super Cup. You've been called to the lanes as well. Sportsman Motorcycle and Super Cup. Lead to the lanes, please. Again, Sportsman Motorcycle and Super Cop. Need you to the lanes, please. Sportsman Motorcycle and Super Cop. Need you to the lanes, please. Number 2, Super Street getting ready to come around the corner. Sportsman Motorcycle and Super Cop going to be right behind them. He's going to step in for a moment while we grab a white heat. Look at the fire. The 290 cars and the Sportsman Motorcycle. Semi-final. Sportsman Motorcycle. These are the lanes if you're not there yet, and Super Cop cut down as well. Super Cop needs you to the lane. Voice you hear that of our Racing for Christ chaplain, Joey Keith, tell you all about Super Street.
Thank you, Bob. This pair burnout's complete. It's going to be William Hughes and Tim Wilson. Hughes had this car, I believe, since high school. No box racing, Super Street racing, back to no box. And then over that is boy racing in the junior street category. Wide sport. Going all the same, they do a great job. Great racing family there. You got Wilson Racing band up on that main thing over there to the right. That's that same thing. Daddy race, another race. Here he is, right here. 1093. William Hughes, 005 start by 0.02 of a second. William Hughes moves in around 3. Wilson was close, 24 on the tree and 1091. But not good enough, so William Hughes moving on. Here comes Don Snow. Here comes Mark McCall. Mark in the Trans Am out of Arlington, Texas. Don Snow, the full-blood out of Hawkins, Texas. Don, a former JEGS All-Star representative here for Division 4. 1090 is on the scoreboard we're looking for. That's our index. Looks like Mark McCall is in control here. Mark, let's go 17 on the tree, 1093. Breakout for Don Snow, 1087. Mark McCall moving on. Trip West, Ray Dew. Trip in the Camaro, a cool name. And Ray Dew in the Nova, it's also a cool name. The Trip, that's pretty cool. Trip West, Walters, Oklahoma, 24 years of age. Ray Dew, League City, Texas, former division champ. Currently leading the points in the division in Super Street. Wife Cindy is at home, patiently waiting for the text messages back and forth from Ray. Each and every run he goes down a racetrack. West is in control out there, and he breaks it out. Trip 22 breaks it out 19,000ths of a second. Ray Dew, worse, and 1091 for the win. Once again, Super Comp, we spin the lanes, please. Super Comp. Round 2. So Ray moving on. Eric Speck, Tuttle, Oklahoma, in the Chevelle. Dennis Harrelson, Montgomery, Texas, in the Camaro. The Camaro's in control here. $10.98, $113 for Dennis. 009 start. Spec was 23, $10.99. Hannah Walter and Chris Harrelson. Hannah, left side, little truck. Mineral Wells, Texas. Chris Harrelson, Azle, Texas. In the Camaro. Red light start for Hannah. Hannah's red 0.02 of a second. Chris Harrelson. 1088 for the win. Here comes Brittany DeVore alongside Brandon Harris. Brandon and Amy out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Discount Trailers entry. See Amy right there watching, videotaping. You see Brittany over there in the truck. See your dad, brother, watching on as well. Harris is in control. 1097. 132 for Harris. Better reaction for Harris. Win light for Harris. Greg Parsons. Scott Turnbull. The Sullivan Racing Transmissions entry of Parson. And Scott Turnbow, right side, in the Camaro. 5 thousandths apart. Green light goes. Scott Turnbull. 1091. 137 the speed. Wind light for Scott. 17 on the reaction time. The Parsons 12 on the tree. 1094. 18 thousandths of a second. Margin victory for Scott Turnbull. Your bye run here. This is Joe Lytle. Joe and Norman in the Chevelle. There goes Joe. .1094 at 123. That does it for round 2 of Super Street. Motorcycles semifinals are coming out next. Super Stock and Super Gas to the lanes, please. Super Stock and Super Gas to the lanes, please. Semifinals coming to us right now for our sportsman motorcycle category. Brenda Kay and Michael Nash. And there you have it, folks. 802 Michael Nash will unofficially take over Division 4 points lead in sports and motorcycle. Drew Trails at home, wishing he was here, but as Hurricane Delta hit the coast down there, he stayed home and to make sure things are okay. All of our thoughts and prayers are with those down in the wake of the storm down there, in Lake Charles, between Lake Charles and the New Orleans area. Mike Scott. Here is your bye run. We'll take on Michael Nash to crown our champion motorcycle category in just a little bit. Mike moved down here from Division 6, moved to the Fort Worth area. Really glad he came down, enjoys the group here in Division 4. Welcome, Mike. Michael Scott, 933. We'll go to the final round and take on Michael Nash. So the track prep, and then we'll get underway with round 2 action of Super Comp. We have called Super Stock, and we have called Super Gas. Back to the lanes, please, for round number 2. Super Stock and Super Gas. All right, round 2, Super Comp coming around the tower. We have 16 coming back for round number 2. Steve Evans and Medlin, Jay Bunce and Christopher Dodd, Kunkel and Kappas, Miller and Sullivan, Ripka and Rowland, Crank and Nichols, Holcomb and White, Robledo and Ray Miller. Those will be your matchups here in round 2 of Super Comp. All right, first pair, Mike Holcomb and Kyle White. Round 2 of Super Comp coming to us. Holcomb out of LaPorte, Texas. Raytay drafting and design entry. Very patriotically painted dragster over there in the right side of the racetrack. Kyle White, left lane. Out of Shawnee, Oklahoma. Kyle and his family. Been racing here a long, long time. Looks like Holcomb's in control out there. Got it, 893. Mike Holcomb. 18 on the tree. Will be your winner. He'll go into round number 3. Here comes James Kunkel. Up alongside Kurt Kappas. Kunkel out of Wichita, Kansas. Had a dream weekend at the Double Divisional at Topeka. Has had a great season just all around. Took a few years off and kind of got back behind the wheel. Red light start, Kurt Kappas, James Kunkel. We'll continue on. 891 for James at 128 miles an hour. He'll march into round 3. Steve Evans. Steve Evans and Jason Medlin. Evans out of Moore, Oklahoma. Jason out of Reno, Texas, down there near Paris. Red Line Oil and K&N and BP Racing Fuels. Jason and John Medlin are longtime racers amongst the area from Division 4 and Division 5. Pretty close right here. Both drivers looking. Evans looking. Medlin's looking. Medlin, 890 with a 3 win light. Evans, 30 on the tree, breaks it out, 887. Medlin, 26, dead on 3. Evans had no shot. Bringing up two more, Terry Sullivan. And Raymond Miller, your reigning Super Comp world champion, over there in the right side of the racetrack out of Spring City, Tennessee. The Miller race cars. Ray taking his time. Ray's in. Out they go. We are a virtually dead even from the start. When light goes, Terry Sullivan and a pair of breakouts. 11 on the reaction timer. 889.8 for Sullivan and the win light. Miller 12. 888.5. The loss. So Terry Sullivan moving on. So Sullivan will take on James Kunkel in round 3. The winner between Jay Bunce and Christopher Dodd will take on Jason Medlin in round 3. Bunce out of Piedmont. Dodd out of Double Oak, Texas. Dodd is chasing a world championship. And Bunce is trying to get in the way of that. Super stock and super gas, please. Super stock and super gas. Whoop. Jay Bunce in control. Jay Bunce 896. 002 start and the win light. Is Dodd behind from the start, 895, letting him go down there. So Jay Bunce goes into round 3. Raymond Miller. And Mike Robledo. Mike out of Division 1, recently moved to Division 2, but will always carry Division 1 number. And Ray Miller. Out of Tennessee. $891 Ray Miller, your winner, was behind 3,000s from the start. Goes down 891. Robledo was 893. Margin of victory is 13 thousandths. Raymond Miller will take on Michael Hochul in round 3. Like our final, we got 2 more pair left. Don Nichols and Jason Crank. They're Division 5 players. Don, a big-time player in Division 5, running Super Gas and Super Comp. Has carried that single digit a few times over his career. Little scoop wobble down there at 9 flat. 009. Don Nichols into round 3. Jason Crank could not run the number, and Nichols takes advantage. Big time. Vern Rowland, final pair. Vern Rowland and James Ripka. Final pair of Super Comp, round 2. Winner here will take on Don Nichols. Red light start for Replica by 0:02. So Vernon, 886. Someone turn off James Replica's phone, like right now. He's 2000s red and goes 8,900. Vernon's 39 and under 886. Ouch. Super stock coming to us next. By Jacob Pitt. Jacob's going to be our buy run.
Thank you, Joey Keith. Appreciate the break. Super stock, round number 2. Getting ready to roll in. Again, a short side of the ladder. Jacob Pitt, as we discussed in the last round, had the competition buy. 11 cars left in super stock. This time he gets the official buy. Bowing out. Round number 2 of stock eliminator. Moving on to round number 3 of super stock. Gets the opportunity. Drive it out the back door, and he goes 947. 139 miles an hour. David Latino, Phil Giles come rolling in. Again, the 4 cars on the short side of the ladder going to whittle it down to 2. One of these 2 will be involved in that. Either David Latino, the Hollingsworth Latino Cobalt, or Phil Giles at the wheel of the Flatonia, Texas-based Copo Camaro. One of them's going to go to the semifinals for a free ride to the finals. Out of the gate and off and running, it's going to be Latino picking up the win here. Inching his way ever closer to another final round berth. 987 at 120, 955 for Giles. Tried to chase him down at the other end of the racetrack and just can't get it done. As Jeff Miller looking for a division title. Needs to go rounds. This time he's got Todd Patterson. Patterson family out of Augusta, Kansas. Part of the Patterson and Elite Motorsports team, and the anniversary of Patterson Racing. The Camaro painted up in the Patterson beige color combo. Jeffrey off and running. Patterson alongside the Copo closing in. Top end, not going to get him. Miller gets the win. 996 on a 995, taking 3 foul stripe at the other end of the racetrack. Patterson to 909 on a 911. Coming up those 3 thou behind. Down at the other end, and now it's Monty Merrill taking on Alvy Merrill. Monty on the left, the red and white 85 edition. 3rd gen body style, taking on the Oklahoma-based 1st edition machine, and Alvy goes red. Monty's going to the next round of eliminations, and he does it with a 1030 at 128 miles an hour. So it'll be Monty Merrill, David Latino duking it out for the bye run to the final round in super stock. Jacob Pitt come back to run either Hayden Trumbull or Christopher Dodd. Jeff Miller's going to come back to run either Pete Peary or Terry Emmons. Pete at the wheel of the Lucas Oil's Calais. Terry Emmons at the wheel of the Emmons Motorsports. Lucas Oil Products protect the Harvest team. Of course, Terry coming off of the big win at the U.S. Nationals a month ago over Jegg's All-Star champ. Peary, quietly, succinctly, working his way towards possibly another division championship. They are off and running, two great reaction times. Peary trying to hold off Emmons, not going to get it done. Terry gets the win, 9:17 on a 9:18. He's under by 4. 9:51.9 on a 9:53, under by 11 is Peary, so it'll be Emmons and Miller in the next round of elimination. Hayden Trumbull taking on Christopher Dodd for the winner to come back and run Jacob Pitt. Dodd on the left-hand side, the Premier Pools Chevy Cobalt on a 9:36, Trumbull on a 10:24. They are off. They are running. Separated by 2 foul on this end of the racetrack, and it's going to be Dodd lighting up the scoreboard. Double breakout. He's under by 4. Trumbull is under by 7. 0.03 of a second, the margin of victory down at the other end of the racetrack. And Christopher Dodd keeps on keeping on. So it'll be Pitt and Dodd, Emmons and Miller, Monty Merrill and David Latino in the next round of Superstock, the quarterfinals, as they come at us. 11 cars left in our Super Gas competition. And our 990 cars get ready to roll in next. Buddy Wood taking on Carlos Atkins. 11 cars going to whittle it down to 6. Once again, we will have a short side of the ladder to deal with. An eclectic mix of cars on that side. More about that in a moment. Carlos Atkins, 63 Corvette Roadster. Buddy Wood up in his Camaro Roadster. That's that power plant for the sulfur-based entry over on the right-hand side. It's coming up out of Denison, Texas. Corvette here in the left lane. Going to be Carlos getting the win, 994 to 151. Buddy Wood goes 9,900, but was late leaving the starting line and could not make up for it down at the other end of the racetrack. Perfect lap down the racetrack, but a delayed start for Buddy. Cost him at the other end, and Carlos gets the win. Mike Van Winkle and Rod Walter. One of these two cars going to advance on the short side of the ladder. Rod's Brogy chassis Roadster over on the right-hand side. Our charging machine for the runner out of Mustang. Van Winkle out of Lake Charles over here on the left. Another 27 Ford Roadster. We are clean and green. We are very well reacted on both sides of the racetrack. It's going to be Walter getting the win, 994 on the 990 at 150. 985.9. Took the stripe by a bit too much down there, did Van Winkle. And Ron Walter moves to the quarterfinals of our Super Gas field. Top dragster needs you to lanes, please. Skagadicky Performance Center, top dragster needs you to lanes. The Houston Cheap Fireworks Super Gas competition continues on. Johnny Wright taking on Alan Savage. Savage on the right-hand side is again top dragster, comp, and top sportsman. Calling all of you back to the lanes, please, now. Top dragster, comp, eliminator, and top sportsman. Need you all to the lane. Savage on the right, the Corvette. John Wright on the left, the Camaro, and it's all right for Wright. 992 beats a 990. 5,000ths the margin of victory down at the other end of the racetrack. John Wright had the better reaction time. Turns it into the winning run down at the other end. He goes through with a 5,000ths margin of victory. And oh, baby, what a pair. Tim Nicholson and Austin Williams. A couple of drivers that, well, they flat know how to get it done. Austin at the wheel of the Croc Rocket. PureTech Energy. Camaro Roadster on the right-hand side. Both of these gentlemen have stood on stage accepting the Champions Award and trophy, being the best in the division. Tim Nicholson, small block with the stick, Super Gas Camaro with the reverse throttle stop. Austin Williams, big top end charge, big finish line driver. Nicholson's going to be way out in front. Austin's going to have his work cut out for him at the finish line. Win light, going to go to Nicholson. 992 at 105, 989.0. Austin gets there first, breaks out by 10 thou, took the stripe by 4 thou. Then Nicholson gets the win, 992 at 105 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour less than what Austin went screaming by with. Here's the other side of the short side of the ladder. Jason McClure and Ray Miller. You know, one of them's going to come back to run Ron Walter for the bye run to the final. It's going to be number 4 in the world, Ray Miller. It's going to be Jason McClure, long time Super Gas competitor at the wheel of his 68 Camaro here on the left-hand side. Young man who's risen through the ranks. Let's see if we can hold off Ray Miller at the top end. The answer would be nope. 997 at a 006 light for Ray Miller. 996 at 150. McClure was a little behind leaving. 31 thou behind at the finish line. And Miller and Walter will duke it out for the bye run to the final. Vern Rowland comes rolling in now. He will be back to take on John Wright. We will be down to 6 cars in our Super Gas category. Again, top dragster, comp eliminator, and top sportsman. Skagadicky Performance Center, top dragster, comp eliminator, and Skagadicky Race Shop, top sportsman. Need you to lanes, please. And Vern, coming off the runner-up a week ago, goes cruising through. Down at the other end with a 992 at 160 miles per. Little drag, little sweep. Little starting line attention, and Elimination. Will Carroll, Ron Scott, Kyle Seacrest, Bill Swan, Robbie Gear, and Darian Bosch get ready to make their laps down track. Looks like Darian's going to be coming up first. He's got the bye run this time around after the competition bye in the opening round. So Darian picking up a free ride. Looks like they're going to start it, stage it, accept the green light, back it out. He's going to go jump in his Top Sportsman truck and be right back with us. NHRA rules and regulations say that if you have a bye run, you can use that run as a tune-up run and haul the mail, if you will, down to the other end of the racetrack. If you so desire, you can start the car and stage the car. But you have to be able to stage the car under its own power. Once you accept the green light, you can shut some pieces. Darian and Mario and Mom all deciding to do that. Here in the opening, or here in round number 2. Here's by our good friends at Skogadickie Performance Center. Darian going to the semifinals. Determine who he's going to run in the next round of eliminations here in a moment. Right now it's Ron Scott, Kyle Seacrest. Kyle up on the right-hand side, the Wichita, Kansas-based runner. Doing his burnout and backing up. Ron Scott coming off the win down in Dallas just a few short weeks ago. Pro-charged, Miller-built dragster for the runner out of Watauga, Texas. Ron's going to be on a 628 dial. He's on a 690, so it'll be ketchup. Mustard, no pickle, no onion, no lettuce. Ketchup only, please. Over here on the left-hand side for Ron Scott. Both drivers in, locked, loaded, red light start by Scott. Kyle Seacrest picks up the win. Ron was having some problems. Car lost fire on the burnout. Took him a minute to get it started back up. And once he did, got it back to the line. I don't think that everything inside the cockpit was exactly what you call happy. Ron with some problems. Kyle Seacrest picks up the win. He moves on to the Final Four, our top dragster confrontation. Two of our 4 final round semifinal contestants, Kyle and Darian. Now we got to figure out if it's going to be Elimination and Will Carroll, Bill Swan, or Robbie Gear joining them. And again, Comp Eliminator, Top Sportsman, need your lanes, please. Competition Eliminator and Top Sportsman, need you into the lanes, please. Will Carroll making a short tow up from Ardmore. Owner operator with his dad at Ardmore Dragway. Top dragster driver when the opportunity arrives. Taking on your number one qualifier now, David Nation. Nationwide mining entry, LD Nation. World-renowned tractor puller out there. David in on a 623 dial. Carroll in on a 688. 6-second bracket racing. Have at it, boys and girls. About to get real serious. The Four Aces team. LD Nation. David Nation taking on Will Carroll and the Ardmore team. Handicap start to Will over on the Cunningham Motorsports side of the racetrack. Will be off and running. Carroll's away. Here comes David Nation. David a little out of the groove, trying to ease it back in, but that opens up the door for Will. Drives it away, 689 on a 688. 626 by David. Took a little bit of a detour out there in the middle of the racetrack. Slowed him down to only 201 miles an hour. After qualifying at a much more rapid pace than that. David Nation comes up a little bit short in that session. So it'll be Will Carroll, Kyle Seacrest in the semifinals on one side. Darian Bosch taking on either Bill Swan or Robbie Gear on the other. Another big handicap start. 1.3 seconds for Robbie Gear over on the right-hand side. Robbie coming down from the Show Me State of Missouri. Missouri. Swan here on the left. Coming up from Texas. There goes Gear, and he goes red. Bill Swan into the semifinals with a 6:21, 225-mile-an-hour lap. 7:56 for Robbie Gear, 175 miles an hour, but 009 red light start for Robbie. Punches out his ticket. Bill Swan, Darian Bosch, to battle in the next round. Our final four are set in our top dragster field. Top Eliminator getting ready to roll up next. We'll set our final four in that category as well. We know one of them is going to be Richard Freeman. Just got to figure out who the other three are going to be. I stand corrected. This is the semifinals of Competition Eliminator. Sean Dodd taking on Ashton Hudson. Sean out of number 5 qualifying spot. Ashton out of the number 4 spot. Freeman and Craig Bourgeois will be coming up next. Hudson's H Altered Automatic. A 53 under runner. Taking on Sean Dodd's C Cano Altered, a 52 under runner. Couple of cars fairly evenly matched during qualifying. Let's see who's got the more horsepower on reserve. See who's going to cut the better starting line reaction time. Hopefully parlay it into a win down at the other end of the racetrack. Dodd on the left. Ashton on the right. Couple boys down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Off and running they go. Red light start. Ashton, Hudson, Sean Dodd going to the finals. Hudson's going to motor through 8.7, $153, 9.25 for Dodd as he shuts it off. Stock Eliminator and Super Street now, please. Lead you to the lanes, please. Greg Bourgeois, Richard Freeman come rolling in. Winner's going to come back, take on that Sean Dodd character. The finals. Cop Eliminator. Freeman up on the right-hand side. Bourgeois here on the left. Bourgeois, a solid runner. Looking to see what he can do. Trying to hold on to a national championship. Already claimed 4 wins on the division trail this year. Would love to be able to make it into the finals. Right now, Craig Bourgeois' main interest is number 1 qualifier. Bourgeois knows that it's a shared comp eliminator, and you can do it. Of course, Firestone down the right-hand side, your U.S. Nationals. Indy Top Sportsman Champ. Small handicap start to Driscoll. He's green, Firestone's green. A little bit better green out of the gate for Driscoll. Firestone got enough top end to pull him around. Nope. 663, 209 miles an hour. Firestone. Down behind, down at the other end of the racetrack. 80 on the 679 by Winkle. 29 on the 3. 30,000 on past the Christmas tree. 40,000 down at the other end of the racetrack. Driscoll able to cut the light, run the number, run a better number. Father's Day in Houston, we ended up with Kyle Firestone running his dad Allen. And just became Kyle Crucci. We've got to get around JJ here. We're out of Centennial, Colorado. The Ford Mustang out of the karting garage. JJ, Aaron, the rest of the crew. Around the later. Section, low right, 51 Chevy Bel Air. Kyle Firestone. Trying to put dead work that the crew chief does. 685 on 83 for the game. JJ runs 671 on a 665. Short track. JJ's great. 17,000 back to the last round. Skies a little bit this time. Firestone picks up the win. Moves on into the final 4. Well, he'll come back and either A, or B, or Fisher lined up the scoreboard. 667, 201 miles an hour, taking 24,000 stripes. Granger 680 at 200 miles an hour, be behind those 24. Down at the other end. So Ricky coming off a tumultuous weekend at Dallas. Going to the Final Four here in Oklahoma this weekend. 24,000 of a second margin of victory. But again, stock eliminator, and super top. Need you back to the lanes, please. Let's not forget our good friends at Sportsman Motorcycle. Stock, super strip. Sportsman and super top. Need you back to the lanes, please. Come on back. whittling our way through our fields. 6 cars left in our stock eliminator category, 8 cars left in Super Street. Down to the finals in our sportsman motorcycle competition. Super Cop field down to 8 cars left as well. 6 in super stock, and we're bringing our super stock cars around the tower, or excuse me, our stock eliminator cars around the tower now for their opportunity to advance and pursue the Wally. Six cars left means 3 semifinalists. Mike McMahon, Stuart Gertson. Duke it out to see which one of them gets to be one of the final 3 players. Stuart up on the right-hand side, the 4-speed, the Mercury Cougar, and yes, Matilda, you could order a stick-shift Cougar back in 1967. Runner out of Buhler, Kansas, the 390 combination. Looking on Mike McMahon's small block, automatic, 71 Corvette, handicap start. Going to go to the mouse-motored Corvette over here on the left-hand side. Mikey will be off and running. Headed for the other end of the racetrack, but he does so with the red line, and Stu Gertson picks up the win via another red light. Will Carroll had the red light in the last round to advance Stewart. He goes 1084 to 122 to pick up the win. Now this is a twofer. This is a big one. 3 cars left in the semifinals. The winner of this pair has the bye run to the final rounds. It's going to be young Hayden Trumbull, or is going to be your Indy champ, Jerry Emmons. Lucas Oil, Emmons Motorsports, a stock automatic Camaro here on the left-hand side. 1042 the dial. Hayden on a 1097. They're both locked and loaded. Hayden's off and running. Here comes Jerry. Emmons trying to chase down the 3rd-generation Trumbull Racing. Can he do it on the top end of the racetrack? Win light's going to go to Trumbull. 1097 on a 1097. Dead 1 on the dial, 43 on a 42 by Emmons. Comes up 46 thousandths of a second short, and Trumbull going to go to the final round uncontested. Brother Gary Emmons will be back to run Stu Gertson. And Gary with the bye run at 5 cars, going to pull in, stage the car under its own power, step the green light, back and back out. Ready to go. It'll be him and Gertson duking it out to see who gets to come back and run. Hayden Trumbull in the finals of Stock Eliminator. Stock down to the semifinals. Super Street soon to be. With 8 cars left in the category, and we're going to whittle it down to the final 4 here in but moments. And into the water box they come already. Mark McCall taking on Ray Dew. Dew up on the right-hand side, coming off the win over in St. Louis a couple of weeks ago on the division level. McCall's Jack's Wax Pit Stop Cafe. Trans Am up here on the left-hand side. 1090's up on the scoreboard. One of these drivers going to go to the final 4. One of them gets an early start south on I-35, complete with lane choice. McCall trying to hold off Dude top end, not going to get it done. Ray was dead late, runs 1096. McCall gets down there, takes a chunk, stripe at the other end of the racetrack, and comes up way quick down at the other end. So Dude moves on. Brandon Harris Scotty Turnbow rolling in next. Battle of the Camaros, the first-gen machines. The discount trailers entry for Brandon up on the left-hand side. Scotty on the right. Coming up out of Mansfield, his 69 edition. Scotty off and running. Brandon off and running. Good lights for the pair of them. A little bit more better light. Brandon Harrison, he turns it into the win. 1089.7 beats a 1086.7. So Harrison on the racetrack. So Brandon gets to stay and play. He's going to come back and run it either Will Hughes or Chris Harrelson. Harrelson, who finished third in the division last year, goes red this time around. So it'll be Hughes, the runner out of Tyler, Texas. They're on the left-hand lane, going 1088 at $139. Hughes was 007. Harrelson was 16 red. So it'll be Hughes and Harris. One side of the ladder, and Dew and either Lytle or Dennis Harrelson on the right-hand side. But never, ever bet against the Lytles here at their home track. They're right up the road in Norman. Got a multitude of laps down the quarter mile here at Thunder Valley. When it comes to Super Street and bracket racing, let's just say they're all very, very talented at it. Lytle on the left, Dennis on the right. One of them's going to go to the semifinals to run Ray Dew. Who's it going to be? Harrelson right-hand side, trimming the tree just a little bit better than Lytle, but it's Lytle going to be lighting up the scoreboard. 1094 at $123, taking 6 fouls. Stripe for the win over Dennis Harrelson's 1098 at 121. And like I said, never, ever bet against the Lytles here at their home track. They know it well. Sportsman Motorcycle, final round, getting ready to come up. Michael Nash looking to claim a division championship here this weekend. Had to go a couple of rounds to get around Dave Gautreaux. Got that down. Runners already got an invitation out to Las Vegas for the Summit ET Sportsman Championship. In the motorcycle category, would love to add another Division 4 Sportsman Motorcycle Championship to his accolades. Mike Scott looking to take home the Wally from this race, though. Scott, the transplanted West Coaster. West Coaster? Yeah. Now living down in Crowley, Texas. Brings his Kawasaki to the fight. Off and running he goes against Michael Nash. Super Gas and Super Stock. Need you back to the lanes, please. Super Gas and Super Stock and Michael Nash. Dead late out of the gate. Runs 7.94.0 for the win. Mike Scott had a 003 light and breaks out at the other end of the racetrack. Took too much stripe. And Michael Nash picks up another win on the season. One in Dallas. Runner-up in San Antonio. Gets the win here today. And I do believe, if my calculations are correct, also clinches the Division 4 Sportsman Motorcycle Championship. So congratulations to Michael. Super Comp rolling in next. 8 cars left. Going to whittle it down to 4 as we continue working our way through. Don Nichols and Vern Rowland. There's a couple of pretty good guns. drawing at each other. Vernon up on the right-hand side, running from right down the road. Back just west of here, a little town called Blanchard. Nichols coming down from Lincoln, Nebraska, where their football team is also called Big Red. The Big Dog Trucking, Don Davis chassis machine. Over here on the left-hand side for the former division champ. Off and running, green lights both sides. I like it like that because we can make a race out of it all the way to the finish line. Vern Rowland goes 15 on the tree, 889.4 to get the win, 888.1 for Nichols. At 170 miles an hour, and he comes up a little bit short. And Vern Rowland just keeps on picking him up, putting him down, and going rounds with the Blanchard-based hot rod. Super Stock, Super Gas, need your lanes, please. Super Stock, Super Gas. Need you back to the staging lanes, please. Come on down. Next pair coming rolling out. Winner's going to come back to run Vern Rowland. See which one wants to be the one. Michael Holcomb up on the right-hand side. The runner coming up from down southeast side of Houston town, down LaPorte, Texas. Ray Miller, the chassis builder out of Division II competition. Miller over here on the left-hand side. Holcomb on the right. Winner coming back for the semifinal matchup with Vern. Only question to be determined, who's it going to be? And we're fixing to find out. Good lights for the pair of them. Who's going to make the better decision at the finish line stripe? Going to be Holcomb getting away at 892, beats an 893. 18 thousandths of a second down at the other end of the racetrack. Michael continues marching on. 892.1 and a 21 light. 893.4 and a 26 light for Miller. That, boys and girls, just a good old-fashioned side-by-side drag race. Jason Medlin and Jay Bunce come rolling in next. Jason on the left-hand side, transplanted. Kansas City-based runner, now living in Reno, Texas, taking on Jay out of Ample Mini Storage and Wood Tucker Racing. Jay up on the right-hand side. Brand new Kelly Lane Race Cars entry. Clean for Jay. Off and running. Clean for Jason. Off and running. Top end. Winner picker says give it to Medlin. 903, a 29 thousandths package at 179 to get the win. 893.3. Bunch puts together a 44 thousandths package, and he comes up, well, do the math, 15 thousandths of a second short down at the other end. So Jason moves on. looking to pick up the round win in Super Comp today. It's James Kunkel taking on Terry Sullivan. Follow drag racing at all, you know that Kunkel picked up 2 huge back-to-back wins at a Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series doubleheader up in Topeka, Kansas, middle of July. Driving the Lumina, the lone door car in Eliminations here this weekend. Runs the reverse throttle stop. Leaves hard, charges down to about the 900-foot mark, and then the throttle stop kicks in, slowing the car down at the other end of the racetrack. And when you're in a category where the dragsters are running by you at 180, 190 miles an hour, you're cruising through at $110, $120. It's very difficult for the dragsters to really be able to judge you down at the other end of the racetrack. And Kunkel went through 2 huge fields of Super Comp cars up in Topeka to do it. He's done quite well here today. Got one more tough customer to get into the Final Fours where he has the opportunity to take on Jason Medlin. Terry Sullivan goes, yeah, well, watch this. Sullivan says, I'm going to come from behind, I'm going to judge the stripe, and I'm going to get the win. Yeah, that's what he thought. 8.906 by Sullivan, but he's 2 fouls short down at the other end of the racetrack. Tim Mickelson says, that's my boy, James. Gets the win, 8.91.1 at $128. 50 miles an hour difference between the two of them down at the other end of the racetrack. And Kunkel just keeps on keeping on. Doing it again, 0.02 of a second, the margin of victory down at the other end of the racetrack. Super Stock, Super Gas should be in the lanes. Super Stock and Super Gas need you in the lanes. If you're not there yet, come on down. Super Stock rolling up now. 6 cars left in the show. And this is the big twofer. 3 cars coming back for the semifinals. One of these 2 cars is going to have the bye run to the final round. Going to be David Latino at the wheel of the Cobalt. Going to be Monty Merrill at the wheel of the Camaro. Boys coming up from Amarillo, having a good time this weekend. Turning the lights green and headed for the other end of the racetrack. Monty giving chase. David Latino very uncharacteristically late out of the gate. But Monty Merrill goes down track, runs a 10:25. Excuse me, it's a GTH automatic heads-up run. That's what the deal was. David knew he had him covered. Heads up, GTH automatic. My bad there and missing that. 986, the win for David, and he gets the win and the bye run to the final round. So Latino marches on. I apologize for missing that. Heads up run. Jacob Pitts, Factory GTH, taking on Christopher Dodge, GTE automatic now. Late model Dodge Stratus, your number one qualifier. Got the drag pack motor underneath the hood. Christopher Dodge, the Chevy Cobalt there on the right-hand side. 350 combo. Two jets going to make their way down track. See which one of them is going to come back to run either Terry Emmons or Jeff Miller. Those two are scheduled to come up next. Green lights a pair and off and running. Jacob trying to hold off Christopher. Top end of the racetrack. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. 9:51 on a 49. 9:31.9 by Dodd on a 9:32 dial. And Jacob Pitt moves to the semifinals in super stock action. Top dragster, top sportsman, comp eliminator needs you back to the lanes, please. Top dragster, top sportsman, and comp eliminator needs you back to the lanes. Terry. So we're looking for a super stock division championship. Goes 10:08 at $1.14 down at the other end. The semifinals in super stock are now set. Jacob Pitt, Jeff Miller duking it out. Latino with the bye run will be back. We'll see how he can do it. Again, top dragster, Scoggin Dickey Performance Center, top dragster. Comp and top sportsman needs you back to lanes, please. And Houston Cheap Fireworks Super Gas competitor. 6 cars there left in the field, getting ready to pair up and make their way down track. We're rolling. Johnny Wright. The top dragster, comp and top sportsman need you to lanes, please. Gas rolling into the water box. We're rolling and John Wright getting ready to do battle. And there are final 6 in the category. 990's up on the scoreboards. Who's going to the semifinals? Right on the left-hand side, the last Wrights Racing, Chevrolet Camaro. And rolling. Runner-up in St. Louis a week ago. Well, it wasn't even a week. 6 days ago. 5 days ago. It was Monday. We're able to put the race to conclusion. Cold and windy conditions. Shut it down on Sunday. Vern on the right. Johnny on the left. Red light start, Vern rolling. 6th foul, too quick out of the gate. John Wright's going to the semifinals, and he does it with a fine 988 at 160 miles an hour. 989 at 160 for Vern Rowland if you're scoring back into pits after the 6,000th of a second red light start. Here's the biggie. this round of eliminations. This is the twofer. Winner here gets the bye run to the final round. So you know, if you win here in the quarterfinals, you already are guaranteed at least a runner-up. Rod Walter on the left-hand side, Ray Miller on the right. Two very sharp roadsters. Rod's the old school 27 Brogy style. Miller with the Miller race cars. Camaro roadster there on the right-hand side. Winner's going to the finals. Which one's it going to be? Rod's in, Ray's in. We are clean and green. Rod Walter is 0.03991 for the win at 153 miles an hour. 988 for Ray, trying to chase him down at the other end of the racetrack. But a 19 thousandths package for Walter did what he needed to do, and that was shut the door on Ray Miller and the Ray Miller race cars Camaro to earn himself a berth in the final round. He'll come back to run either John Wright, Carlos Atkins, or Tim Nicholson. Carlos and Tim getting ready right now to decide who's going to come back and run John Wright. Tim Nicholson, like James Kunkel, talking about earlier, using the reverse throttle stop down at the other end, slows the car down, gets the win. 994 at 106 miles an hour. Carlos Atkins goes screaming by at 152, runs a 987, and breaks out, trying to chase down Nicholson. So Nicholson, John Wright going to do battle. See who comes back to run Rod Walter. The finals of Super Gas. And again, Skogadicki Performance Center, Top Dragster, Comp, and Top Sportsman. Digital lanes, please. And getting ready for our semifinals. Top Dragsters, our finals in Comp Eliminator. And the semifinals in our Top Sportsman category. That's all the rest of our Eliminator fields, pretty much down to the semifinals now as well. We work our way through toward crowning our final champs of the 2020 season. Thunder Valley Raceway Park. And again, tip of the cap to everybody at Thunder Valley for their hospitality this weekend. Thanks to all of our racers for being here and making the 2020 season as wild and wacky as it was, the season it was. Appreciate everybody being here. And on behalf of Nick and Larry and everybody at Thunder Valley, I want to thank everyone for coming out this weekend and make it a great race weekend that it was for all of us. We're waiting for our top dragster drivers to get suited up. Cop Eliminator drivers to make their way to the lanes. Top sportsmen ready to come up for their semifinals as well. Finals now in the top dragster category. Going to figure out who our two final round contestants are going to be. Will says, pick me, pick me. Kyle says, pick me, pick me. Kyle Seacrest coming up on the left-hand side over here in the Stay Wide roofing lane. Runner coming down out of Wichita, Kansas. Youngster at the wheel of the Jim Wright fabricated race car. Will Carroll family, owners and operators of Ardmore Dragway, right down the road on I-35. Carroll dialed in at a 688. Seacrest dialed in at a 692. Just using big cubic inch combos to rocket their way down the racetrack. Let's see which one of them's going to go to the final round. Locked and loaded, green lights a pair. A little bit better out of the gate. Seacrest, he's pulling away on the top end. Goes down track, shuts it off to a 707 lap at 164. Carroll, some issues there in the middle of the racetrack. Could not keep the car firmly planted and in place. So Kyle Seacrest making the tow from Wichita down, worthwhile. Going to the final rounds here in our Scoggin-Dickey Performance Center. Top dragster field. stock eliminator. Our Sam's need to use stock eliminator cars. Super Street and our JC3 Energy Services Super Comp. Stock, Super Street, and Super Comp. Need you to the lanes, please. Stock, Super Street, and Super Comp. Need you to the lanes now, please. Come on down. Seacrest going to come back, take on either Darian Bosch or Bill Swan. We were talking about a little bit earlier. Top dragster battle here in the division. Always a tough field of race cars. Aaron Stanfield, J.R. Baxter, Mark Jones, Wayne Landry, Frank Young, Bob Button. All of them in front of Darian, but Darian's the only one here this weekend earning points, and he is earning points because he keeps going rounds. Swan, a little bit further back in the point standings. Darian right now sitting number 7. Love to roll out of here a little bit stronger than that. Got to get around Swan. 00 lights a pair. 002 by Swan, 005 by Darian. Both drivers break out. 16 thousandths the margin of victory for Bill Swan. 6:18.9 on a 21 after a 002 light. Darian goes 005, runs 6:14.3 at 204. Took 13 thou stripe, but breaks out by the mostest. And Bill Swan and Kyle Seacrest going to duke it out for the top dragster title here today. Again, stock, Super Street, Super Comp. Need you back to the lanes, please. Stock, Super Street, and Super Comp. Need you back to the staging lanes, please. Stock, Super Street, and Super Comp. To the lanes, come on down. Finals and competition eliminator getting ready to roll in. Our semifinals and top sportsmen be right behind them. It'll be Sean Dodd, second year in a row in the final rounds here in Noble. Sean rolled into the finals here a year ago. Pulled up alongside Kev himself, was able to seal the deal. Picked up the Wally over a very stout field of race cars. So Sean looking to go back-to-back wins here at Thunder Valley. To do it, though, he's got to get around your number 1 qualifier, Richard Freeman. Freeman coming up on the right-hand side. On paper, a 1/10 of a second advantage. May not sound like a lot, but in the world of drag racing, a 1/10 of a second can sometimes be the equivalent of a month. Then again, a very stout and stellar reaction time. Sometimes enable you to steal some of that back. By the time you get to the finish line. Finals and Comp Eliminator. Who's going to be your champ and get the Wally? Is going to be Sean Dodd? Going to be Richard Freeman driving the Mustang out of Elite Motorsports in Wynnewood, Oklahoma. They're on the right-hand side. Number 1 qualifier. Dodd's off and running. Here comes Freeman. Dodd got the better line. I don't know if he got enough top in. He did. Back-to-back wins here at Thunder Valley for Sean Dodd. 8:16 getting the win at 164 miles an hour. 7:01 by Freeman. At a $1.95, he was 45 thousandths of a second short at the other end of the racetrack. Trailing Sean Dodd across the finish line stripe, and Dodd, after picking up the win here a year ago, comes back to do it again this weekend at our final event for 2020. Congratulations to Sean Dodd. Congratulations to Michael Nash, our 2 winners so far in all of our fields of elimination. Sean Dodd doing what he needed to do, picking up the win. Had the better light. He was 007, leaving the starting line. That's what you call focused and ready to go. Semifinals now in our top sportsman category. Matt Driscoll and Bob Galletti. Driscoll, final round appearance here a year ago as well. If I remember correctly, let me check my results on that. I stand corrected. Last year it was Lance Rutland and Jim Thorpe. Driscoll was in the finals up at Tulsa earlier this year. That's the race I was thinking of. So the runner coming down from the Kansas City metro area. Wouldn't mind running in Oklahoma into the final round at Tulsa. Love to get to the final round here, but to do it, he's got to get around Bob Galletti. Galletti, your number 1 qualifier. Flat been driving the wheels off of this Jeff Cummins New Tech Global Shelby over there on the right-hand side this year. Multiple wins and multiple number 1 qualifying efforts for Galletti. Driscoll on the left, 680 the dial. Galletti on the right, 632. Just a hair shy of a half a second handicap start. Going to go to Driscoll. Locked and loaded. Matt's away. Here comes Bob. Driscoll, 20 on the tree. Bob Galletti, 005, 33 on a 32. Taking a 13 thousandths margin of victory down at the other end of the racetrack. 81 on an 80 by Driscoll. 203 miles an hour. And Bob Galletti's 2020 season just continues rocketing on into yet another final round configuration. Here in 2020. Galletti already with wins in Dallas, San Antonio. A couple of number 1 qualifying efforts as well, including here this weekend. So he's going to come back and run either Kyle Firestone or Ricky Fisher. Ricky over on the right-hand side, low riding, 57 Chevrolet. Explained to you the issues that we had a couple of weeks ago down at the Texas Motorplex. Our last stop on the tour. Now it's the Elite Motorsports entry, Kyle Firestone. Looking to see if it can make its way into the final round. We have a 51 Bel Air taking on a 67 Shelby in the finals. Over Skagadicky Performance Center, top sportsman category. And again, stock, Super Street, Super Comp. Need you back to the lanes, please. Stock, Super Street, and Super Comp. Need you back to the lanes, please. In fact, we'll just put out an all call. If you're still in, need you back to the lanes. Stock, Super Street, Super Comp, Super Stock, Super Gas. If you're in, cool them and fuel them and bring them back. Fisher on a 663 on the spot. Kyle just a blink. Kyle's on a 684. Fisher goes red. Kyle Firestone's going to the final. It'll be Kyle and Bob. 685 on an 84. 23 thousandths package for Firestone. Going into the final round. 678 for Fisher, but he turned the bulb red on this end by 15 thousandths of a second. So Kyle Firestone, Bob Galletti going to the finals. Our Skagadicky Performance Center top sportsman category. If you're in, you're in, boys and girls. It's that time of the day. Stock Eliminator, Super Street, Super Comp, Super Stock, Super Gas. Need you to the lanes, please. Come on down. And, of course, top dragster and top sportsman, as soon as you guys can cool them and fuel them and turn them and get them ready to go one more time, we'll take you back to the lanes as well. But if you're in, you're in. Need you back to the lanes, please. Semifinals now and stock eliminator. And we know Hayden Trumbull's going to the finals because we got 3 cars left and Hayden gets to the odd lot bye. The question is he going to run Stu Gertson's Cougar? Is he going to run Gary Emmons' Cobra Jet? Big handicap start. 1.8 seconds. Emmons going to have to be very patient. 9:08 to dial for the Lucas Oil Emmons Motorsports team player there on the right-hand side. Gertson on a 10:88. The 4-speed. Merc Cougar here on the left-hand side. Ford versus Chevrolet in the finals. Who's it going to be? Emmons starting to pick it up. Put him down. Closing in. Top end at the stripe. Going to be Emmons. 9:11 on a 9:08. Taking 0.010 of a second margin of victory. 10:88.7. Gertson runs dead on the dial with the 7. Just left 0.04 of a second on the starting line. And Emmons able to squeeze down and take one of them for a margin of victory. So Emmons and Trumbull, finalist in stock eliminator. We'll be coming back here in a bit. Right now, it's Hayden Trumbull getting ready to take his run. And again, if you're in, you're in. Need you back to the lanes, please. Lytle and Dew, Harrison Hughes in Super Street. Medlin and Kunkel, Roland and Holcomb in Super Comp. Jacob Pitt, Jeff Miller, David Latino in Super Stock. Ron Walters, John Wright, and Tim Nicholson in Super Gas. And, of course, top dragster and top sportsman. You just ran, but as soon as you can cool them and get them back to the lanes, we'll take you back to the lanes as well. $10.97 for Trumbull. He rumbles his way down track at 118 miles an hour, so it'll be Trumbull and Emmons in the finals of Stock Eliminator. Super Street semifinals now. Brandon Harris taking on Will Hughes. Which blue first gen Camaro is going to go to the final round? Going to be Brandon Harris with the discount trailers. 67 Camaro there on the left-hand side. There's going to be Hughes. 68 edition over on the right-hand side out of Tyler. Green lights off and running. Hughes, Harris. One of them's going to the final rounds. One of them gonna say golly gee willikers, what could have been? Well, Hughes is going to be saying the golly gee willikers because Brandon Harris gets the W, runs 1092 at 133, 1089.8. Bill Hughes gets down there, takes the stripe by 38 thousandths and breaks out by 2. To come up just that close to going to the finals. So Brandon Harris, we know, is in. Is he going to come back and run Ray Dew? Is he going to come back and run Joe Lytle? Go up on the left-hand side. At the wheel, the Chevelle. Hometown runner. Taking on Ray Dew's big block, hard charging. Chevy Deuce out of League City. Going to be Dew going to the finals. 10.902, a 30 thousandths package. Joe had the opportunity. He was 15 on the tree, but runs 92.2 at a $1.23. Comes up short down at the other end of the racetrack, and Ray Dew closing in and wrapping up another Division 4 Super Street title. Be coming back for the finals here in just a bit. Super Cup semifinals, Super Stock, Super Gas, all coming at us. Our finals are set in Top Dragster and Top Sportsman. We'll take care of everybody, cool them and fuel them, flash them and gas them, and bring them back to the lanes. Boys and girls, if you would, please. Jason Medlin James Kunkel, Vern Rowland, and Michael Holcomb. I know I got 3 of you. I need 4 of you. Super Comp semifinals. Need your lanes, please. Medlin, Kunkel, Rowland, and Holcomb. Need you all to the lanes, please. Yeah, looks like everybody showed up for Super Comp now. Is Vern Rowland. Pulls in to take on Michael Holcomb. Holcomb over on the right-hand side. Borrowed car after his incursion with a fence in the shutdown area down at San Antonio. Seems to be adapting quite well. Making it to the Final Four so far in Super Comp. Got a tough customer in this round. Of course, isn't anybody easy. Had to get around Ray Miller in that last round. We're rolling to Don Nichols. Duked it out, and Vern goes red. 13 foul, too quick. And Michael Holcomb going to be your winner. Cruising on in with an 891 at 175 miles an hour and a 005 light. So Michael makes his way into the final round of our Super Comp battle. Is he going to take on another dragster, Jason Medlin, or is he going to take on James Kunkel's Lumina? And if my eyes don't deceive me, I do believe I see Jason standing down there without a race car. That's not supposed to be, Sparky. So Kunkel is going to get a competition bye to the final round. Is obviously something askew Jason Medlin's car. Jason standing back here just outside the water box, and he should be in his car sitting on the starting line. So Kunkel gets the competition by, and our finals are set in Super Comp. Super Stock, Jacob Pitt, Jeff Miller, and David Latino should be in the lane. Super Gas, John Wright, Tim Nicholson, and Ron Walter should be in the lanes. How about Kunkel? Hey, Jason, don't feel bad. Trip Zip 0903 on a buy run puts down a 3,000ths package. Wow. I guess that'll take some of the sting out of it. Not all of it, but some. Super Stock semifinals, Super Gas semifinals, and we will be down to our final round combatants in each and every one of our categories. And again, boys and girls, the call's out. If you're in, you're in. Need you back to the lanes, please. If You're in, you're in. Need you back to the staging lanes, please. Semifinals now of our Stanfield Racing Super Stock action. Jeff Miller looking to go to his third final round of the year here in the division. Runner-up down in Houston. Winner over in San Antonio. Winner gets to come back and take on Dave Latino in the final round. Miller off and running. Here comes Jacob. Good lights for the pair up. Duking it out at the finish line. The stripe's going to go to Pitt. 9:51 at 133. 10:02 by Miller at 120 miles an hour. Gave it a run, but Pitt able to put it together just a little bit better. Jacob, after going to the finals in Dallas just a few weeks back, going back to the finals again. This time he'll be taking on David Latino. Latino and Miller duking it out for the division championship. Miller bowing out in that round of eliminations. Opens up the door, I do believe, for David. But he's still going to have to get around Jacob Pitt in the finals. And Latino shuts it off to a 10:03. 103 mile an hour lap. We've got our finalists determined now in each and every category except for Super Gas, and we're about to determine that. It's John Wright, Tim Dickelson already in the water box. Wright's Camaro on the left, Tim Dickelson on the right. He uses the reverse throttle stop, slows it down at the other end of the racetrack, watches the other car go flying by 50, 60 miles an hour faster. Makes it extremely difficult to judge. The car down at the other end of the racetrack. John Wright's got his work cut out for him. Nicholson has been on his game today. Back with Nicholson and Kunkel both in the final round. Could have two reverse throttle stop guys claiming championships today. John Wright drifted out of the groove. That's not good for Johnny. Trying to reel in. Nicholson top in. Not going to do it. 9,902. Nicholson puts down a 20 thousandths package. John Wright drifted a little bit out of the groove. Still goes 9,903. But left a little bit back here on the starting line. It'll be Nicholson and Ron Walter duking it out in the finals of Super Gas. Rod rolls in, his Brogy Roadster. There on the right-hand side, ready to do battle. And again, we need all of our final round contestants back to the lanes as soon as you can make it, boys and girls. Final round contestants do need you back to the lanes, please. Cool them and fuel them. Splash them and come on back. Crown our champs and put a exclamation point on the year that was 2020. And Rod goes 008, 992 for the win. And into the finals he goes. And our finals are set. Again, congratulations to the two champs we've already crowned. Michael Nash, your Sportsman Motorcycle champ. Sean Dodd, back-to-back wins in Comp Eliminator here at Thunder Valley. And now we've got stock with Gary Evans and Hayden Trumbull. Super Street with Ray Dew and Brandon Harris. Super Comp with James Kunkel and Michael Holcomb. Super Stock with Jacob Pitt and David Latino duking it out. Super Gas final round will feature Tim Nicholson and Rod Walter. Of course, our Top Dragster final with Kyle Seacrest and Bill Swan, and Top Sportsman Bob Galletti and Kyle Firestone. We are down to the finals in all of our categories we've got left in eliminations. We'll take them back to the lanes as soon as you can cool them and fuel them, boys and girls. Come on down. And again, need our final round contestants to the lanes, please. Stock, Super Street, Super Comp, Super Stock, Super Gas, Top Dragster, Top Sportsman. Need our final round contestants to the lanes, please. Come on down. And for those of you that have asked, which there have been several of you that have sent me notes and said, hey, you can stay the night if you so desire. We'll roll out in the morning, which is what I'm going to do. So if you are not in any great hurry to get out of here tonight, want to roll out early tomorrow morning, can be done, no problem. Just check with the boss man, and he said, heavens, yes, you can stay if you want. Final round contestants, need you to lanes, please. Final round contestants, need you to the lanes, please. And I start seeing the golf carts rolling down here on the turnout road in front of the tower. That tells me everybody's pretty much lined up and ready to go back into staging lanes because, well, everybody's pulled their golf carts up so they can see what their team does. Final round contestants, if you're not in the lanes, you are late. Hereby notified that you are AWOL. MIA. However you want to put it. We need all of our final round contestants to the lanes. Gary Emmons, Hayden Trumbull. Finalist in stock eliminator. Ray Dew and Brandon Harrison, Super Street. Super Cop, James Kunkel and Michael Holcomb. Super Stock with Jacob Pitt and David Latino. Super Gas, Tim Nicholson and Rod Walter. Kyle Seacrest, Bill Swan. Back in the lanes in top dragster ready to go. Bob Galletti and Kyle Firestone, our final two contestants left in top sportsman. I hear engines rumbling. It's usually a pretty good indication that we got race cars coming. Looks like the first ones out are going to be top dragster for their final round Wally chase. Bill Swan and Kyle Seacrest going to do battle. Kyle coming down from Wichita. Swan coming up from Texas. Down Carrollton way. Beating up here just a little bit south of Oak City. Claiming the title. Is the Wally going to head north? Or is the Wally going to head south? Swan will be on a 619 dial. Seacrest on a 692. For Swan and the Beyond Reason team. Sunset Performance, blown big block. Seacrest used a whole lot of cubic inches over there on the right-hand side. Cut a light, run the number. Oh, how simple the process seems. Oh, how difficult it can be. Final round, Skagadicky Performance Center, top dragster. Final race of the 2020 season here in Division 4. Who's going to be our final top dragster champ? Seacrest off and running. Swan right alongside. Identical reaction times, but Kyle Seacrest going to haul the trophy north. 693 on a 692 to get the win. 631 on a 619. Swan not able to get there. They were identical on the reaction timers. Both of them turning on the bulb with an 024 reaction time. But Kyle Seacrest picks up the top Skagadicky Performance Center top dragster Wally here today. Congratulations to Kyle, joining Michael Nash, Sean Dodd, the winner's circle here at Thunder Valley Raceway Park. So just a few left to go now. Again, all of our final round contestants, need you to lanes, please. If you're not there yet, you're late. Come on down. Super Street Finals coming up next. Brandon Harris taking on Ray Dew. Brandon's been running the number. Ray Dew has survived a couple of lucky rounds today to be able to get into the final round, but you don't get to be the division champ without some of the luck falling your way at times. 1090's up on the scoreboard. Final race of the 2020 season in Super Street here in Division 4. Off and running we go. Ray Dew coming off a win a couple of weeks ago over Worldwide Technology Raceway. Sticks the nose of the Nova out in front. Gets another one. 1095 at 133. Brandon Harris comes up short. 1094 at 141 miles an hour. And Ray Dew picks up the wall. Final round now in stock eliminator. Gary Emmons pulls in alongside Hayden Trumbull. Emmons on a 9-10 dial, 1097 for Hayden. Going to be off and running. Emmons sits and waits patiently and takes flight. Separated out of the gate by a thousandth of a second. Who's going to be better at the stripe? Going to be Gary Emmons. 9:09.1 on a 9:10. Breaks out by 9 thousandths of a second. 9:95.7 by Trumbull on a, 10:95.7 on a 10:97. Breaking out by 13 down at the other end of the racetrack. So both of them a little quick. Emmons had the better light by a thousandth of a second. Gary picks up the Wally as the Emmons boys continue picking up wins here in 2020. Gary gets his Wally here at Noble. And we continue on. Our finals in Top Sportsman coming up next. Bob Galletti and Kyle Firestone. Top Sportsman, final round, the old school 51 Chevrolet. The later model, 67 Shelby. Allen looks on from behind the bumper, rear bumper on Kyle's ride. Bob Galletti at the wheel, the Jeff Cummins, New Tech Global. There's a race prepared power plant. Shelby there on the right-hand side, 632 to a 684, about a half a second handicap start. Going to go to Kyle. Firestone going to be off and running. Looking to pick up the W. Came up just a little bit short on Father's Day down in Houston. Love to close out the season with a win now. Bob Galletti, though, certifiably hot throughout the 2020 season and does it again. 638 on a 32, taking away a 93 on an 84 by Kyle. And Bob Galletti picks up yet another win on the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour in pursuit of a division title here in Top Sportsman action. Congratulations to Bob Galletti. Congratulations to Kyle Firestone, making it to the finals here in the Top Sportsman ranks. 3 categories left to go: Super Comp, Super Stock, and Super Gas to put a wrap on the 2020 year. Like I said, 3 more finals to go. Super Comp, Super Stock, and Super Gas. Lining them up next to the tire now, coming out of the staging lanes and ready to put a wrap on the season that was. As Barbara Walters would say, this is 2020. Like Super Comp is going to be our next category. Michael Holcomb, James Kunkel, Kunkel rolling in. The Lumina on the right-hand side. Holcomb here on the left. Raytay drafting and design, the undercover chassis machine. Kunkel's Lumina looking to pick up yet another Wally on the 2020 series. We said earlier today, doubled up in Topeka, taking out 2 huge fields of Super Comp dragsters. Does it with the reverse throttle stop, much like Tim Nicholson. We're going to see Tim come up here in a minute in the finals of Super Gas. Can both of them do it on race day? They're real close. See how it plays out. Holcomb on the left, Kunkel on the right. Out of the gate they go. Kunkel way out in front. Now the throttle stop starts kicking in, slows the Lumina down, top end, Kunkel 8.902 with a 34 light for the win at 129 miles an hour. Holcomb had the better light. He was 14 at the hit. Gets down to the other end of the racetrack though and goes 44 foul at the stripe to break out by 22. Makes it awfully hard to judge down there at the other end of the racetrack, and James Kunkel picks up yet another win this year in that Lumina. Doing it the hard way. Throttle stopping at the other end of the racetrack, but he picks up the W, and we are down to 2. Super Stock, Super Gas. Getting ready to come up. Super Stock final round. Huge implications on the final standings here in the division. And Jacob Pitt take out David Latino. Latino likes the front end up in the air. The car moves a little bit to the right. Jacob Pitt goes 0-0-2. Seals the deal. 950 at 138 miles an hour. 984 by Latino. He was 19 on the tree, but Jacob Pitt picks up the win in the boat bar ride after coming up short down in Dallas in the final round just a few weeks ago. So Jacob, your Super Stock champ, and we are down to one last race for 2020 here in Division 4. And what a run it's going to be. Rod Walter taking on Tim Nicholson. Now we saw Kunkel using the reverse throttle stop down at the other end to win Super Comp. He learned it from one of the best in the biz, Tim Nicholson, who's been doing it for quite a while. In this small block, stick shift 67 Camaro in a field full of big block and automatic race cars. Nicholson, though, has got that reverse throttle stop program down to a fine science. Let's see if Rod Walter able to get down there at the other end of the racetrack and judge the stripe and pick up the W. Going to be tough. Never easy against Nicholson. Walter on the left, Nicholson on the right. Final race of 2020. Off we go. Timmy out in front. Now starts slowing the Camaro down. Walter at the top end. Not going to get him. 991 at 106. Nicholson gets the win. 987 at $1.56 for Rod Walter. Gave it a good run. Just a little bit too much mile per hour down at the other end as he goes screaming by at 50 miles an hour. And boys and girls, that puts a wrap on the 2020 season here in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour. But we've got one more run coming up. Eric Enders getting ready to come up now that race day has concluded. Going to make another lap in the Elite Motorsports. C Super Modified, little Pontiac. Turned it red earlier today. Coming back for a little test and tune. And again, for those of you that have asked, yes, you can stay the night tonight. It is permissible to remain here overnight. But Erica's going to make one last shot down the racetrack. And Miss Erica, which this makes me wonder if she's going to be driving in comp this weekend next weekend down in Dallas. Could be. Along with Pro Stock. Eric Enders up on the right-hand side. The Sharp Racing, Elite Motorsports, Small Block Powered, C Super Mod. Final car of the day to go down the racetrack. Little test and tune run. We'll get all of our winners gathered up together. Get the photographs taken and do all the yahoos and the attaboys and the way to goes. 8:13's the record, 8:21 on that lap at 163 miles an hour. Best of her runs this weekend. She had an 8:24 and an 8:24 and an 8:39 in qualifying, so whatever they tried there, it worked. And that, boys and girls, guys and gals, puts a wrap on 2020, the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour. Here in Division 4 competition, we'll see some of you next week down in Dallas, Texas, the National Open at the Texas Motorplex come Wednesday and Thursday, the national event next Saturday and Sunday at the Motorplex. But for the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour, we are finished here in Division 4 for 2020. On behalf of everybody with the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Tour and everybody here at Thunder Valley, I want to thank all of our friends, all of our racers, all of our racing family for coming out this weekend. Spending a great weekend with us, although it was a little foggy in a couple of mornings, but a great weekend of racing. And again, on behalf of everybody at Thunder Valley, thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here this year. See you next year as we come back for the 2021 tour and what hopefully will be a far less complicated year. Good night, everybody. See you, Tim Freeman.